Welcome to Talking Voiceovers with me, Gail Goslin. Today we'll be talking to Rampepe Mohohlo. Oh my God, you can't say it.
Okay, let me help you there.
Yes, please. Today we'll be talking to
Rampepe Mohohlo. En français, Rampepe
Rampepe
Mohohlo.
Mohohlo.
Mohohlo. There we go. Comment tu vas?
Ça va et toi?
So are we doing this in English or are we doing this in French?
On peut le faire en français si tu veux, hein, mais je crois que tu vas pouvoir suivre.
I completely understood what you said.
So you were born in the USA, and when you came to South Africa, you were in grade 1.
Yeah, I came to South Africa, I think, when I was 5. And I went from America straight into Red Hill in Morningside. Both my parents are from Pretoria and are Sotho speaking.
Okay.
Also, like the general dialect / slang that it evolved into in their part of Pretoria.
Right.
So it's also not seen as like proper textbook of any of the Sotho languages. That's what I sort of tried my best to pick up and learn by spending all my school holidays in Atteridgeville, which is in Pretoria. Because I just I've always loved languages. I'm sure if you can imagine like an African-American kid in a township in Pretoria trying to speak Tswana or Sotho with an American accent was just like constant entertainment. So I was more like their entertainment at my not getting the language right. And it just delayed the whole process. And to this day, I probably don't speak it as well as I do European languages that I learned in a year or so.
Right. We're a rainbow nation, so we're all different.
Oh, I've learned that. I feel like I've been different to every single person, even within my nuclear family. All 4 of us are completely different, almost like a nationality. And I guess it was just the way our family works.
When I started out, I kept getting asked to do English with a French accent. And I was like, I can't do English with a French accent. I mean, I speak English with a accent, but not really a French accent. And they were like, no, you have to. You speak French, so you can do it. And I was like, I can't. So I started speaking like this to them, and I said, but it sounds terrible. And they were like, no, it's great. So I keep getting tons of jobs of speaking English with a French accent, and I'm thinking, my God, but it's so put on, but they love it. So.
Not my God. You get hired for a lot of French accent in English. I get a lot of Black accent in English. I guess on my profile or on paper, I have an African name, like a Sesotho name. I live in Joburg, so the expectation that, a Joburg Black person can speak, the main language is Zulu, Sotho, maybe Xhosa is not uncommon. But, coming from the States, being born in a country where none of these languages are around, a child in their formative years, and going straight to a school in Morningside and being completely removed from the language and wherever it exists until university almost. And the difficulty in learning a language that is almost seen to be your mother tongue is the expectation that like, why don't you know your language? Like if you chose to be a snob, you'll suffer the consequences. And it can be like quite a hostile journey to picking up your mother tongue in later life, in addition to English or from an English speaking background or childhood. That in voice, I've sort of confronted that in a different way, where a lot of Black accent jobs I discover in the booth, where I'm either expected to have the nuanced accent of the township, or like a lot of the KFC voices are like, the millennial, upwardly mobile, classy, Black, hip with it guy. I don't know if that makes sense. And it's such a particular like cultural reference that if you have never been in these spaces or you didn't grow up in them, you can sound, almost a bit gimmicky, or even
you're putting it on.
Yeah, like the radio ads of maybe 15 years ago, like, she's broken. It was like super offensive ads of, maybe white people putting on Black accents, that I actually feel like that sometimes when I've been asked to say something in a particular accent. I'm like, I don't have that. I don't know how to say that, which is weird to say, like, as a Black person, like, I don't know how to pronounce that in the Black accent you think I should have because I'm Black, when really a Black accent is the accent a Black person has while being Black, so I'm always speaking in a Black accent. But I do understand in advertising what they mean by the general. It just gets wishy-washy when I think the expectation isn't communicated. It's rather understood to be standard or like deliverable by any Black person. Yeah, I've had quite a few of those expected skills of Black delivery, but I'm learning. It's actually one of the skills I've been working on the most, being able to deliver the older gentleman Black accent. God, it makes me cringe, but yeah.
It might be difficult to sound authentic in South Africa because in South Africa, you're expected to be the real thing, or otherwise, like you said, you don't sound authentic. But on the international scene, if Americans or British people are looking for a Black South African accent, then you're great. even if
Oh,
you're not
okay.
authentic to one specific thing.
Well, give them my number. I wouldn't mind putting on an African accent for that then.
Absolutely. There's lots on voices.com. They're always looking for Black African accents. He's the smooth voice that we've been hearing on our South African airwaves recently.
On Take a Lot, KFC. It's crazy how many brands I've been booked for. It's wild. I guess the agency experience is somewhat like that. It's like brand commercial focused, but every single one is like, what? Are you joking? They booked me?
You're a superstar.
Well, in my little 1-bedroom apartment, yes, but nobody else knows who I am.
That's cool. That's super cool.
Well, I like to keep it that way.
So what did you study for? What did you think you were going to be when you were a kid?
Everything. I didn't think you had to choose anything, which is, I guess, how I've been in voice for the past 2 years, hopefully longer than that. Yeah, there's just so many things that I've always loved doing. I was a competitive swimmer, like during my childhood. I swam for the SA team, and so that was that part of life. And then I went to university. I lived in Brazil. I coached netball, capoeira. Just so many things that I just love experiencing, trying out, enriching my day-to-day life, and who knows where it'll take me. What's wild is I always got random opportunities to try stuff, and I've always been like a yes man, try everything. I was cast as a presenter for a lifestyle music Africa-wide show.
Cool.
I was cast as the main presenter, an online show like in 2007 or something, because I was the only person who spoke Portuguese and French and English. And I mean, sure, you can speak a language as fluently as you think you can, but to have to do it on camera, you have no experience in terms of presenting. And like, I met the producers and everyone literally on set, like, oh, you're our guy. Okay, cool. Nice to meet you. Yeah, we like you. And now there's the camera. Go ahead. And I was like, oh my God, like, what have I got myself into? I mean, I did it and it was a fun experience, but most of my experiences with entertainment, acting, adverts have just been via chance opportunities, friends needing me to fill in here or there. I've been on a BBC show series, Noughts and Crosses, as an extra policeman in the background. So the on-camera thing is just not for me. It's just far too nerve-wracking. It's a lot for me.
You've got an uncle in the furniture business, Joshua Dore.
How did you land your first on camera or your first voiceover? What's your story?
Probably my first on camera was I was a promoter for Johannesburg Motor Show, Joburg International Motor Show at Nasrec, massive car show for like 2 weeks, I think. And I was a promoter for Audi, which was like the premier promoter team. And like 2 guys came up to my car, which was I think the R8 at the time. And I was explaining to them all the specs, and it's like they were interviewing me. Like they had a bit of banter between them, and they were like, oh my God, you're the guy. And then they explained they were the producers for Top Gear South Africa. They were bringing it to South Africa, and I'm the missing guy in the cast with Barry Hilton and this and that. And I thought it was a joke, but they really did cast me in this. I had never experienced anything like this, getting, I don't know, pre-production schedules and itineraries and I forget, like shoots and all this stuff. And then ABSA pulled out as the main sponsor and everything just crashed. And that was, I guess, my first maybe experience with anything possibly going on TV, on Supersport, but in terms of voice, a friend of mine, Kosinati Lutango, owns Anati Sound. Anati Sound is his studio. And I asked him if I could record like a birthday audio promo, because every year I had a themed birthday invite. And so I did a 1-minute birthday voiceover promo sounding like the Metro FM voice, or like
A Summer's Day in Bram with Ramps and Friends. Join Ramps as he celebrates his 29th anniversary.
And he was like, dude, you could do this as a job. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool story, bro. And then 2 years later, I moved to Cape Town. And then I got signed by Tongue Twisted. And within a month, I was the captain voice for 12 months, all TV, all radio, all online. And I was like, oh my God, I don't think they know I'm not actually a voiceover artist. This will be my first job. And it's just been like that ever since. Job after job after job, just having to fake it till you make it, or just be the guy that they picked, or they sort of thought you were in picking you.
You've obviously got something. If they picked you, they saw what you have.
Sure. But I just mean in terms of the studio environment, like it was completely new to me. I'd never been in a studio with clients and agency on the other side. And I walked into my first job with Capfin. super nervous. And as I opened the door, they were like, "Oh, the man of the hour, finally, like, we meet you. We can't wait for you to dazzle us with your magic." And I was like, "Listen, I have to tell you, I'm so nervous. This is my first job. I've never actually had this experience before. Please just bear with me." And everyone was super nice. And that's generally what the environment is in studio. You don't stress your voice artists out and expect them to give you a good product. Super welcoming, friendly, just made the experience so much less nerve-wracking than I thought it would be.
That's good to know for somebody who's never been in studio, because we all expect the directors are going to be stressful and say, do this, do that. And you're like, oh, lose your voice because you're nervous.
I mean, if you know what a director is, I didn't even know there was. I knew nothing about the studio environment except there's a microphone and your voice, and you gotta essentially create or recreate what you know to come out of radios or TVs as these big bellowing voices, or all of that stuff that you think voiceovering is before you actually do a voiceover.
When you're in studio, you give lots of takes and the sound engineer makes the magic, and it sounds great when it's on the ad. But so doing it off the top of your head is something else.
Well, not lots of takes with me. I usually get it in a couple, one or two. I don't know if you heard about me.
Right.
Just checking. What's that? Oh, I did F&B, which is probably my favorite job I've ever done, because I arrived and I was like, okay, my God, I'm recording for F&B. Wow. And at least my voice sort of suited what they wanted on the day. So just all the elements came together. And it goes, it's like, the world is changing. The future is coming at us faster than ever. And then blah, 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 which was the F&B virtual card. It wasn't an advert so much as it was like an online awareness campaign. Everyone and their mama heard from me about this F&B virtual card. I needed everyone to know it was me. It was just the most magical, fun experience, which I think most of my voiceovers are, because I didn't come into voice from the entertainment or acting or theater or anything. Did the school corporate or university corporate science route and landed in voice. So for me, it's like take a boy child to work day where I have every day is a new fun experience that I get to do something new with new people. It's the most fun job ever, I think. And you get paid for it, which is
awesome.
That's a bonus.
Yeah. So is that why you went into the entertainment industry of voiceovers? If
this is entertainment, then hey, I'm a star. I'm a star. What can I say?
Or even donate them to charity. Sign up today at oldmutualrewards.co.za. Old Mutual Rewards is brought to you by the Old Mutual Group. Woo! That felt good.
Do you market yourself separately from your agent? You don't just wait for the agent to send you work?
I used to send maybe 50 emails a day with my demos, just to whatever email address looking for voiceover artists I could find, be it on the resource on Facebook, or I would type in Twitter, voiceover artists needed, and I did this for months. Not one job, didn't get a single job. And some of the jobs I did get sort of replies on were jobs that I was too expensive or too qualified, or essentially they were looking for voiceover artists who were willing to do jobs for 300, 500 Rand. I'm super keen just to do the work that will actually have results, and actually build some sort of career. I haven't got any job outside of my agents. I guess maybe I don't know if I've done everything the right way, or if some places or platforms are just not viable to South African voiceover artists, but still picking up new skills, trying new things, and hopefully grow and learn as I go.
And do you have a studio at home? What were you doing during the pandemic?
Wow, the pandemic. I actually flew to America on the 11th of March to surprise my family, and my mother graduated and turned 60. And I got stuck there for 3 months.
Graduated and turned 60.
That's right. Even putting me to shame.
Your mom looks amazing.
At 60.
Yeah.
She hasn't been in South Africa for many, many years, but she came last year, and she doesn't get the voiceover thing. It's not something she grew up knowing much about. So I would always just send her my TV ads or radio clips, as they aired. And she'd be like, "Oh, this is nice, Rams, but this is not your voice. Keep going and keep trying to find your voice." And the first ad she ever heard when she landed in South Africa on 702 was the Cape Cannabis Club, which is weed selling, I don't know, a 45-second ad in my voice. And she called me, she was like, "So this is your job, selling weed on Radio 702. And she found it super funny. But she graduated, she turned 60, so I wanted to surprise her, surprise visit. And then I got stuck there for 3 months. And it was hectic. It was chaos. Being stuck in a dollar country for 3 months with a Rand wallet wasn't easy. But I couldn't get any jobs. I couldn't couldn't book any jobs. I did one voiceover in a random studio of a gospel American artist, and that was for one of the clients I was the voice of. But then when I returned, I moved in with a sound engineer who I still live with now. So I have a home studio, which is just a chaotic eyeball. If you know what it's like, a
chaotic eyeball. We'll post a picture of it.
I have a mic set up and slowly expanding on that. But I guess my main resource is my sound engineer. So
yeah,
it all just worked out for me.
What microphone have you got?
My sound engineer is just behind the camera here. I can't work like this. Nobody's ready. But he has a really good setup because he's actually a singer himself.
Okay, so it's his setup.
It's our setup now. So yeah,
right.
we're working together.
That's such a good combination.
It's working really well, but I really still enjoy the studio environment so much more just because of its efficiency, and just being a part of the supply chain was my experience of voice. And I still do enjoy it now. Just the live interaction with people, slowly coming back now, but hopefully I will pick up the home studio, like you explained in the workshop on Saturday, self-taught sound engineer, voice artist studio that probably built it brick by brick. Just super impressive. And so since then, I want to do that for myself as well. I've done Burger King for a year and a bit now. And I get super excited to go to the restaurant, which I voiced for, especially for a product or a new burger, because I generally like to try them out for fun, and order the burger and, just speak normally, but lean in and be like, I want the chicken bacon king for $29.99. And then I'm like, by the way, ma'am, I'm the voice of Burger King. Aren't you getting this? And they're like, the voice? Okay, what's that? And it's like, oh my God, just never mind. Just, it never ever works, but it's just like the fun experiences you get to have and do, making fun of yourself as the voice of whatever.
It's great because you can be a celebrity and not have all the cameras in your face because they'll never know it's you.
That's right. I've just had so many incredible experiences. Yeah, like a friend's mom, like very concerned, like, what is this thing you're doing now? I'm hearing you do voice notes. I'm like, oh my God, that is not a job. Voice note artist. How do you have a job in voice notes? No, my boy. You're just like, okay, let me explain what it is.
It's back and it's bigger. The ultimate checkout. 24, 25, 26 August. Takealot.com, Superbalist.com, and Mr. D Food. 3 days, all the deals you've asked for.
Was there anything else that you would like to add to inspire our younger viewers or starting out viewers?
There are so many people that respond to my voiceover videos that I post on social media. I think some people think asking me if they can also join is how it works. Like, Rams, can't you get me a KFC voiceover as well? I'm like, yeah, I guess this is how it works. Like, just asking nicely on Instagram. But I just wish everyone did get just a chance to even just try it out once, or, be hired for just even one smaller job, just to get a taste of it. Because I think even just the experience, however short, however basic or beginner, is worlds apart from never ever getting to step inside the booth. Trying to learn to become a voiceover artist with enough experience and demos to get an agent is so tough from the outside. And yeah, it's just what I wish for everyone. I wish everyone could just get some exposure, just a taste of it, because from the inside, it just becomes so much clearer. Oh my God, is this how this all works? This is so interesting. And you grow and learn, and you meet people, you make relationships, sound engineers, clients, and you can only grow from at least that little seedling. Watering air doesn't grow any plants. Yeah, that's not my wish in terms of advice. I just wish everyone could just get at least one. But just to follow the fun, follow the passion. At least for me, it's just been a keen interest in movies, media, music, people watching, how people talk, accents, cultures, everything. Just amassing all of that, which is to me just life, is the base that I sort of deliver and work from for characters, acting. It just feels like you are peopling. Do you know Coconut Curls? I've grown up with a whole crazy bunch of very creative, funny people. She's one of them. We actually shot a Take a Lot ad together last year. And it's all just joking around with accents and, your humor and all of that stuff that friends do when they're together. We had a podcast that we were literally about to start, and then she became super famous.
Oh.
And had to go off to all her now big jobs and super successful. But I'll get there. Don't worry. I'm worming my way into the limelight. Yeah, you should go down the Rampepe's adverts on YouTube rabbit hole. You should try that one day. It's That's also another thing. Is it done? Is it something you do? Do you post your ads that you've done, or does it sort of, is it like a not great for like competition or?
You need to show what you can do. So you post your ads, but then you don't push them on people all the time. I think it's great to have them on your website or on your LinkedIn page and peppered here or there on your Instagram, but you don't keep pushing them out all the time. You don't want to be salesy. So you have them so that they can be seen.
Sure.
Then remember what I was saying on the marketing thing on Saturday, is that you create relationships and you talk about other stuff. People already know that you're a voiceover artist, and it's nice to see your stuff, but you don't want to be pushed it all the time. You know what I mean? Thank you for watching Talking Voiceovers
with Rampepe Mohohlo.
If you enjoyed this interview, give it a thumbs up.
Yeah. Like, share, and subscribe. The button's down below.